Cool. So I want to include this Facebook content calendar lecture because it really is going to cut down on all your work and all your stress and confusion around posting the content that you find and the content that your fans are loving, making sure every single piece is optimized and as little work as possible on your end. So a content calendar is a calendar that's used to plan in advance what content you're going to publish on your Facebook page and when you're going to publish it. And this can be done in bulk, meaning you don't have to go find individual pieces of content and then go and upload them individually to your Facebook page. Content calendar is going to help you do that for weeks in advance, where you can have all of your content laid out for the next month and not even have to worry about getting in every day and finding content. So the content calendar is the foundational structure for the social snowball, which is the momentum that we build on our page from day one. And we're going to go into that in the next module. And it's the key to momentum and consistency, because consistency will get your page to grow at massive rates. It is an exponential growth pattern when you use Facebook pages. So we really need to make sure that you are growing as consistently as possible to build that momentum exponentially. So how do you know what your content calendar will look like? Now, I can't give general advice here because every single niche is different, but what I highly, highly recommend you do is, number one, you research what your competition is doing. Not for their calendar, but you go out there and you see how often your competition, whether they be big pages or medium-sized pages or small pages that are just growing rapidly, you see how often they're posting and you copy that cadence, because if that's working for them, that's going to work for you. You're going to test the analytics, and we're going to go through the insights and analytics. We have a whole module dedicated to this, so we'll go through more of that in module 7, I believe it is. And then using apps and programs, which we're going to show you. And then you can use a document in Google Drive as well, which is a very simple way to use a content calendar. But you just need to know the main overarching purpose of the content calendar is to cut down on the time that you spend finding and posting content. So here's a good sample of a content calendar. Now you can see here, each piece of content is scheduled at different times. So coming from Monday, the 26th of March 2018, all the way through of February, all the way through to the 9th of March, this person has their content scheduled and planned to be posted at these specific times, meaning for that amount of time, nobody has to come in here and post. It's all done ahead of time. Maybe they spend a couple of hours on finding the content, getting it ready and scheduling it. So when the time rolls around, it's going to automatically go out. Now, how do you make it automatically go out? You want to use one of the following apps, whether it's Buffer or Hootsuite or Sprout Social. These things you can upload your content to and it'll automatically post to your Facebook page. Now, you can also, and I'll include a text lecture that links you to exactly how to do this, you can use the Facebook inbuilt post to be able to schedule your posts well ahead of time. So you don't even need to use one of these third-party apps if you don't want to. You can do it right there within your Facebook page, and I'll include the text lecture showing you exactly how to do that. So the big thing is scheduling posts minimizes your time spent working on your page. Remember, finding the content is really important, but you don't want it to take up 100% of your time. So scheduling these posts is going to minimize this down to, say, 10% of your time, where you can then focus on the overarching themes of your page, the graphics of your page, interacting with your customers, and doing these advanced strategies, which we're going to go into in the course. So the last thing I want to say on this is you want to maintain high quality content, because just because you're doing it in bulk, just because you're batching this and doing a lot of it at once, you really can't slack off, because remember, the number one factor in growing a page quickly is high quality content that people love to engage with. So we want to experiment and discover the optimal time and optimal post that you have, and we'll be doing that in the insights. But you also don't want to depend 100% on this calendar, because remember the newsjacking strategy, where you can get on really big trends and reach 1,000, 100,000 people, even if you only have 100 followers, is if you do something like the Harlem Shake, or you jump on a news story of celebrity's death, which I don't recommend to extort something like a celebrity death, but that is just something that many people do. you want to make sure you're doing it in an ethical way. So maybe it's a new technological breakthrough or something, and you jump on that sort of trend is probably a better way for you to grow using trends. But you need to jump on these trends. So you can't have everything planned in advance. A lot of your content, or at least say 10% of your content, should be staying plugged in with the everyday occurrences in your city, in your state, in your country, around the globe, and using content based on that. But the moral of the story here is you can batch 90% of your content, and you can do that through using Buffer or Sprout Social or Hootsuite, and you can save so much time. You can save 30 hours a week in searching and posting and scheduling content just using one of these resources and making sure your content calendar is full for the month ahead of time.